Hi, I'm Betty Brennan, and I run Bluestem Springs Farm solo here in East Central Illinois. And today I'm going to talk about how I modified a ShelterLogic shelter, a shade shelter for my sheep, and some earlier experiments that didn't work, and what I might try in the future if this experiment doesn't work. I recently set up this movable shade shelter out in the sheep pasture, and the winds blew it across 3 fence lines across my driveway, and it got hung up and ripped up. So my neighbor, who can weld, came and helped me repair it. And so we put some welds on it. And he originally helped me weld the tires on it. And we got some stronger welds on both sides where it was needed. And then I repaired everything that was ripped with Gorilla Tape. And so I'm going to try it again. I think I'm using some different tactics. Originally, it was held down with airline cable and these clamps, and that was the weak point. So, these are the grounding or the like stakes that held it down. So it's really surprising because 4 of those huge stakes pulled out when it ripped across the pasture. However, it was an extreme wind, but I'm going to switch to chains and a clamp. So we'll see if that works. Well, here it is. I decided to tape the sides up to allow more breeze underneath of it. Of course, rain might get in those pockets and cause a mosquito fest, so I'll have to let the rain out when that happens. So I think the chains and the clips will be stronger than the airline cable because the clips gave on the airline cable that came with the ShelterLogic kit itself. So I think this will be stronger. If this does not work in Illinois wind, I'll probably search for an old hay rack that I can pull around. But this will allow me to not have to bring the tractor out. I also can offer shade in that lean-to, and I'll take you over there and show it to you. It's just not enough for 30 sheep. I'm going to move the sheep tomorrow, so they're over there in that paddock. So that's next. In the long run, I'm going to add trees to my pastures, but of course that's going to take 5 to 10 years. I'm planting those next spring. So that's the ultimate solution to offer shade. This lean-to just isn't quite enough for 30 sheep, but it is useful for some of my paddock moves. But I've got 10 paddocks that don't have access to this lean-to, so I still need movable shade shelter. This is the shade cloth covered sheep panel, and as you can see, it bent at the top. It got blown away in the wind, and so then that made that peak. And the blowing of it seems to not encourage them to want to go under it. It doesn't provide a lot of shade. I do have it attached with tent stakes, and they still blew away. And previously I tried cow panel, which has the bigger squares versus the sheep panels, and those completely broke in the wind. So Illinois wind is tough on things, and this experiment worked for a year when I only had a few sheep, but you see how it blows down? That they don't want to go under that. It blows like that. Today is just a light wind. So that's why I'm trying the ShelterLogic approach, and obviously if that doesn't work, I'll go to the hay rack approach. This is just part of daily life out here, adjusting, experimenting, and trying to keep the animals comfortable through the seasons. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you found it helpful, and I'll keep you posted on how it goes.